Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Okay, so firstly, thank you very much to Minzy for sending me this over on social media, over on Twitter. So big up to you, and of course to another person who has sent it to me as well. That person shall go unnamed. Now, Tyson Fury went into a bit of a tirade at Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk. In fact, he was calling Usyk a steroid cheat, but we're going to get into that part in a minute. Now, when it comes to Anthony Joshua, I did laugh when he said that I want the belts from Ukraine and you just handed them back. Not something that I ever really thought about before. It never occurred to me that, yeah, that's pretty much what's happened, hasn't it? It's gone from Ukraine to UK and back over to Ukraine again. It has. So well done, Tyson Fury. That was pretty inventive. Now, it's nothing unusual for Tyson Fury to go in on Anthony Joshua. I mean, that's just something that he does. He's always done that. Why? It's a bit of clout chasing, isn't it? Where he's had opportunities to fight Anthony Joshua and that before, just didn't want to do it, not even for 100 million. All he had to do was pay Wilder, according to Tyson Fury's own words, 20 million to step aside. Didn't want to do that, to go in 100 million with Joshua. So when you're going in on Anthony Joshua for losing to Usyk, yeah, he fought Usyk, a pound-for-pound fighter, because he had no choice. He was his mandatory. Note that word, Tyson. Not a word that you're familiar with. Mandatory. He fought his mandatory. But that fight could have been avoided had you have fought Joshua. Got yourself an undisputed title fight. You could be sat there pretty as undisputed heavyweight champion of the world right now, with 100 million in your bank account from one fight. And there's 60% in the rematch. You put Joshua in that situation. But as I said before, at least Joshua actually fights his mandatories. You talking about Joshua and Usyk, when what you should be talking about is your mandatory challenger, Dillian Whyte. That's what you should be talking about. But you're not, are you? Anyway, move on to Oleksandr Usyk. Now, he said that Usyk is a steroid cheat. Well, it's amazing how he can say that on camera, but when he bumped into Usyk only a couple of weeks ago, he didn't say nothing like that, did he? Nothing. He was trying to suck the toes of Oleksandr Usyk. He was all complimentary and whatever else. He was thrilled to see Usyk. Now suddenly he's not around. Let's get all brave, turn my iPhone around and do a selfie. Well done, Tyson. Absolute Spartan. But to call Usyk a steroid cheat, now I don't know if Usyk has some kind of history with steroids. And of course we're talking back into the amateurs and things like that. So of course I did do a Google search and nothing popped up for me. Now, that's not to say this hasn't happened. It's not something that I've ever heard of before, which is why I did the Google search. I can't find anything. So if Usyk does have some kind of history with some PEDs, please somebody let me know. And if he has, and Tyson Fury's gone in on him, hey, okay, cool. Fair play. Fair play. But at the same time, is it two-faced? Yep. Of course it's two-faced. Tyson Fury had a recent 2-year ban on his resume for nandrolone. Now, I do maintain, and I do believe, that Tyson Fury never cheated intentionally. I do. So whatever got into his system is something that happened unintentionally. I do believe that, and the reason why I say that is because I do believe Peter Fury would not condone that kind of behaviour in his gym. So if they were eating, say, wild boar, which I believe was the reason for it, or a potential reason for it, okay, cool. I'm okay with that. Does that mean I'm right? No. No, it doesn't. But if he's not calling, if Usyk doesn't have some kind of history with PEDs, it's a bit of a low-life thing to call someone a PED cheat, isn't it? How they're on steroids. You of all people, Tyson, should not be doing that. You of all people should know better than that. Now, he did make mention to Oleksandr Usyk was once a middleweight, and he was once a middleweight when he first went into the amateur game. He was a middleweight, which is where one of the fights that he had with Sean Porter was at as well, which I know surprised people when that news came out, that these guys once had a fight. But yes, he did go for middleweight, and yes, currently now he's a heavyweight, but as amateurs would have it, he's currently a super heavyweight. So yes, he did go through up the weights, and of course spent his amateur career. He did dip his toe into the super heavyweights, of course, But of course, when he went to the Olympics at heavyweight, which is equivalent to cruiserweight, and he campaigned pretty much most of his career at cruiserweight. Does that mean he's a steroid cheat? No. It just means he's filled out a bit, doesn't it? I mean, isn't that the truth of it? So, if he does have some kind of PD history, okay, cool. But if he doesn't, it's a bit of a scumbag thing to call somebody without any kind of proof. If Usyk has never failed a PD test, don't call him a PD cheat. Don't do it. Especially when you have a 2-year backdated ban on your resume, which you admitted to. Granted, I do believe that he admitted it because he'd already been out the ring for over 2 years and just wanted his license back. I do firmly believe that. I don't believe Tyson Fury is a PD cheat. I don't. Some people will have a different view on that one. But again, don't go talking about Usyk. Do not utter the words of Usyk. Do not utter the words of Anthony Joshua. Don't do it. That's not your next fight. Your next fight should be your mandatory. That's what you should be making selfies about. If you want to go in on somebody, go in on Dillian Whyte. Because at least that fight is the fight that should be happening. Stop talking about fighters that you ain't fighting. You had the opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua. On more than one occasion, by the way. You've had the opportunity to fight Usyk before as well. But you didn't want to do it because Usyk, he's too small. He can't speak English. There's no point. Oh, what, suddenly now you want Usyk? Why is that? Because Dillian Whyte is stood firmly on your toes right now. Man up, Tyson. Face your mandatory and shut up about Joshua and Usyk. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, and of course subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.